Hello dear friends, we continue with our chapter Exogenetic Processes Part 2. In the previous video we have seen about the agent river. In this video we'll see about the agent glacier and winds. Glacier. Now what is a glacier? Glacier means river of ice. A huge mass of ice, when it starts sliding down slowly over the land, we say it is the origin, it is the starting of the glacier. In the cold areas, in the areas where the temperature is generally below freezing point, precipitation there is in the form of snowfall. When after layers of snow falls on the earth, due to the heavy weight of the overlying layers, the snow collected will turn into ice, and this ice will start sloping over the land. This big mass of sloping ice is called a glacier. At the base of the layer, the snow starts melting. It melts because of the overlying weight of the overlying snow and because of the friction. As layers after layers have collected, because of the overlying snow's weight and because of the friction, the ice at the base of the glacier melts and the glacier starts moving. So just like water, just like the running water, glacier also does the work of erosion, transportation and deposition. So glacier starts moving slowly. You must note this, students, that glacier moves at very slow velocity. The velocity may range from 1 centimeter to 1 meter. The Jakobsvand Glacier in Greenland is one of the fastest moving glacier in the world, and it moves at the rate of 46 meters per day. So the different works of glacier will start with. Erosional work of glacier. Although the speed, the velocity of the glacier is very less, but the mass of the ice, the amount of ice in the glacier is very much. So glacier will erode its bank and its bed on a very large scale. The erosional work of glacier brings about the following landforms: cirque, horn, eretz, U-shaped valley, hanging valley and Roche mountain. You can see a U-shaped valley here. Now what is a U-shaped valley? I'm sorry, this is a picture of cirque. Let us understand what it is. Now when the water starts moving downwards, the ice also starts sliding downwards. And because of the friction, the slope of the mountain will become very steep, but the basal portion will become widened and it will deepen. So such deepened portion at the base of the slope is called as the cirque. So when that slided ice has come down the slope has become very steep, but the basal portion of that slope has widened, and this whole shape resembles an armchair. This is called a cirque. When the ice melts, a lake is formed in this area and the lake is called as Starn. The next, let us see, when the water starts moving downward, ice also starts moving downward, and because of the friction, the slope of the mountain becomes steep and the basal portion of the mountain, it deepens. Such deepened portion of the base of the slope is called a cirque. Shape of the cirque is like an armchair. Let us see what are horns. If the cirque are formed on all sides or at least on 3 sides of the mountain, then the summit, that is the top part of the mountain, looks like a horn. For example, Matterhorn is in the Alps mountain. Picture of horn is here. So if cirques are formed on all the sides of the mountain, or at least on the three sides. The summit part, the top part of the mountain, looks like a horn. Then we come to erites, thin crest of rocks left after two adjacent glaciers have worn. It's a steep ridge, so it's a thin crest of rocks or a ridge which is formed between two adjacent glaciers. Here in this you can see the erites between two glaciers. That ridge, that edge part which is basically made up of rocks, is called as the erites. You can also see the cirque part which resembles an arm shape, and the lake which is formed when the ice melts. Here also you can see tarn, erite, kori. Here kori is another name for cirque. Roche Mountain, U-shaped valley, and the Hanging Valley. Let us understand what is a Roche Mountain. It is also called as shipback. Smooth upside and rough downside. Now what does this mean? When the sediments are being carried by the glacier, it will bring about erosion on the sides of the rock. As the sediments slide up the rock, the upside of the rock, where the glacier moves upward, it will be having a smooth side. But when the sediment comes down from the other side of the rock in its path, the other side of the rock where the sediments slide down will be having rough downside. In this way, Roche Mountain is formed. U-shaped valley. Let us see the explanation first before we go to the diagram. Land formed due to erosional work of glacier. U-shaped valley is formed because of the erosional work. Steep sides. It has steep side and it has wide flat floor, and it is formed in the river valley. Now the hanging valley. Please understand what is hanging valley. Just like rivers, excuse me, glacier also have tributaries. But sorry, compared to the main glacier, the tributary will be bringing less snow or ice along with it. Less snow or ice means less erosional work done by the tributary than the main glacier. Excuse me. When the tributary meets the main glacier, the bottom of the tributary will have we are talking about the tributaries of the glacier. So tributary will be having less snow and ice in it. So less erosional work is done by the tributary than the main glacier. So when the main glacier meets this tributary, when the tributary meets the main glacier, the tributary will be doing less erosion. So the bottom of the tributary will be little bit higher than the main glacier. When the snow melts, the difference can be very easily seen. The main glacier, the valley will be deeper, but the valley of the glacial tributary glacier will be little bit higher. So valley of the tributary will be higher than that of the main glacier. Here is the diagram from your textbook showing you the cirques and the horns and the ridge or the erites that we call them as. So in that box which is there alongside, you have to write down that these are the erosional work of glacier. Roche Valley, here also you write down it is the erosional work which is called as Roche Mountain, is also called as a shipback. Now the U-shaped valley is shown. Again, U-shaped valley is formed because of the erosional work. The hanging valley, again it is also caused because of the erosional work. Transportation and deposition by glacier. Sediments carried by glacier are called as the moraines. Now there are different types of moraines: ground moraine, lateral moraine, medial and terminal moraine. Here is the picture. Here is a figure from your textbook 4.2a, which shows you different moraines and their types. The moraine, I told you, are the sediments that the glacier carries with it. So when the sediments are deposited at the bottom of the glacier, it is called as the ground moraine. When this moraine is deposited on the banks of the glacier, it will be called as the lateral moraine. When two glacier meets at the junction of the moraine, when the glacier is deposited, it is called as the medial moraine. And at the mouth of the glacier, where the glacier meets or the glacier melts and it meets the seas, the deposition at the mouth is called as the terminal moraine. So ground moraine at the bed of the glacier, lateral moraine at the banks of the glacier, medial moraine will be at the junction of the two glaciers, and terminal moraine will be at the mouth of the glacier. So once again we come back to the original slide, to the previous slide. After seeing the transportational work, we come to the depositional work of the glacier. Drumlins and eskers are the landforms formed because of the depositional work of the glacier. Drumlins are egg-shaped hills. They are formed basically due to deposition of moraine. If there are many hills in the area which are egg-shaped, the area will be called as egg basket. Eskers are low, narrow region which are again formed due to deposition of moraines. Here is a picture of drumlins. So drumlins are formed because of the depositional work. So in that box you will write down depositional work of glacier. You can see the egg-shaped hill there. Eskers are narrow, low-lying area formed because of deposition of moraine. Here is the picture which will explain you the Shipback or the Roche mountain. Smooth upside and rough downside. When the sediments are moving upward, the upward side of the movement of the glacier will be having smooth edge, but the other side where it is moving down, the other side will be having rough edge. This picture will show you about the drumlins and the eskers. So we start with our third agent, that is the wind. So we come from the polar region to the hot desert region. Wind is nothing but moving air. Moving air is called as wind, and this is a gaseous agent of erosion. Wind also does the work of erosion, transportation and deposition. Wind is more prominent in the desert region and in the semi-arid region. So the work of the wind will be clearly seen. The landforms formed by wind will be prominently seen in the desert and in the semi-arid or the arid region. As mechanical weathering occurs on large scale here, powdered rock and sand spreads over a large area. And in the desert region, there is hardly any obstruction. There is hardly any obstacle in the transportational work of wind, because there are very less trees or any other obstruction there. So the sand particle gets transported over a large distance because of the wind. They are carried over a longer area, they get deposited where the speed of the wind reduces. In this way, wind does the work of erosion, transportation and deposition. Now, we come to the erosional work of wind. Wind carries smaller particle, pebbles, etc. along with it. This particle causes erosion along the rock coming in its way or in its path due to the friction. This leads to the formation of mushroom rock, deflation hollows, yardangs, etc. So we are talking about the landforms which are formed because of the erosional work of wind. They are mushroom rock, deflation hollows, yardangs, etc. Here is a picture of mushroom rock. Now, when the wind is moving in the desert region and there is a rock in its path, the rock will be eroded because of the sediments carried by the wind. Lighter sediments blow with the wind, but the heavier sediments are dragged along with the wind. They are dragging they are dragging on the ground. So, the basal part, the lower part of the rock will be eroded more because of this heavier sediments. And the lighter sand particles, lighter fine particles erode the upper part of the rock. Heavier sediment bring more erosion of the rock. That means more erosion of the rock is done at the basal part of the rock. The basal part of the rock becomes stem-like narrow, and the above part becomes, due to less erosion, it remains quite wide. The whole structure represents a mushroom. So this is called as the mushroom rock. The mushroom rock is caused because of the erosional work of wind. So in the box in front of mushroom rock, you will be writing erosion. We come to deflation hollow. When the wind has removed a sand particle down to the level where layers of particle too heavy for the wind to move are there, a hollow is caused, a hollow is formed. This is known as deflation hollow. I repeat, when wind has removed the sand particle and there is a layer of particle which are heavier for the wind to carry. Okay, so wind has carried along with it sand particle, but heavier particles are there. So the removal of sand has caused a hollow there. This is called as deflation hollow. Now we come to yardangs. The shape of yardangs is like a toppled boat, inverted boat. This is formed because of the dual work of erosion and transportation. So in front of yardangs, you will be writing it is formed because of erosion, transportation work of the wind. It is formed when the lowest material is eroded and only the consolidated material is left behind. Very fine, lighter sand and lowest particles are eroded, they are carried away, they are transported to some other place, but the solid consolidated material is left, and this leads to the formation of these yardangs. Depositional work of wind. Now sand particles that blow with the wind are of different shapes and sizes. Sand might be smaller in size, bigger in size, medium in size. So those particles which are very fine are carried over a large distance, while heavier, larger particle of sand will be transported but to a shorter distance. So the sand get deposited in the desert and the semi-arid region. As a result, specific landforms are formed because of the depositional work of wind, and the landforms are sand dunes, margins, saves, ripple mark and loess plain. The spelling should be LOESS, loess plains. Let us see what are these landforms. The sand dunes. These are nothing but hill shape formation. When wind blows, sand will be spread along across the desert, and these dunes, these hills will be formed. These hills will not be stationary at place, but they will be moving with the wind. The margins. These are also sand dunes, but they are crescent shape, shifting sand dunes. They are formed when wind blows only in one direction. So if the wind is blowing only in one direction, dune will be formed, will be of crescent shape. These are called as margins. The next landform, saves. These are the longitudinal dunes. These are also sand dunes, but they are longitudinal in shape. They are generally oriented in direction parallel to the prevailing wind. So if the winds are moving in this direction, the saves will be formed in the direction parallel to the prevailing wind. The ripple marks. Ripple marks are formed in the sandy bottom by moving waves of wind, in which waves formed advances rapidly. So these are the ripple marks. They are formed because of waves of wind. Then we have the lowest plain. So the flat area which are covered by fine silt deposit are called as the lowest plains. In the textbook also, students, you have the picture of Hamada. So what are these Hamadas? These are the plateau region in the desert. These regions are devoid of sand. That means there will be no sand in this area, but there will be pebbles. Sand